those things all come later on.
So I was just wondering, so I had an Uber driver that was, I noticed he was reading the Quran.
Okay.
And I was just wondering, like, I didn't know if I asked him if he'd be like offended, like, are you Muslim or something like that. I didn't know if that was like a.
Actually, we are proud.
So when you see somebody reading the Quran, you should feel free to ask them whether they're Muslim. Nobody should be offended by that.
Okay.
If they're not Muslims, so if they're not Muslim, they can say I'm not Muslim. If they are Muslim, they should be more than happy to share with you that they're Muslim and what they're reading and why they're Muslim. Some people might get offended, it's up to them, but you should not feel shy to ask that question.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, just wanted, my brother's Muslim. I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't know if that was okay.
Your brother's Muslim and you're doing it Muslim. Sit back, relax.
You're gonna.
What about you? What do you believe?
What's that?
What do you believe?
I'm LES.
Okay. You do believe one creator.
Yeah.
That's good. Right. So we would share that belief together. Right?
Yeah.
We do believe that creator sent messages to prophets. Right? Whether it's the last prophet or not, we'll discuss that later. But we do have the same belief. Right? So regarding the Old Testament and the New Testament, I think the Albanian Church is well researched about some of the changes and corruptions that happened, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, for example, King James and his claim of the Bible and stuff, you would agree that's wrong, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Right? So, I'll make sure on the same page, right? So, now the difference, without going into the later prophets or Joseph Smith or any of that, from Jesus to Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon both of them, the only difference would be is whether the Prophet Muhammad was an actual prophet or not. Right?
Sure. Yeah.
So, let's say we would agree that the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, according to the consensus of historians, was not literate. He couldn't read or write. You know, right? I'm sure you've heard.
Yeah.
So how does a man who's unable to read or write bring forth a book that the best poets and the Arabic language experts, shu'ara, at that time could not respond to? Think about it, right? Like, do you speak Chinese?
No.
Assuming you don't, right? Now, if you came to me and you had a writing in a book in a language that you could not read or write, right? That was so eloquent that the best professors of the Chinese language couldn't respond to. They were like, we cannot write anything like this. Wouldn't that be miraculous?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? The Quran tells us that the heavenly bodies, the different planets, the moon, the sun, are in an orbit. They are in their own set course. Now imagine a man more than 14 centuries ago in a desert, in an environment that was not conducive to scientific research, meaning it was not the Romans or the Greek, where there were philosophers. The Arabs were poets, they were good at poetry, but that was about it. They didn't have a king, they were just attacking each other, Bedouin lifestyle. How would he know that?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Right? Makes sense. Now, maybe he guessed. Let's play, as they say, devil's advocate, right? Okay. The Quran talks about salt water and sea water touching but not mixing. Now, we know the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, never went to an area where there was salt water. Everything around the sea was sweet water. So how would he know that? Maybe he guessed the second time and got it right. Okay. The Quran talks about how there are waves under the ocean. He never went scuba diving. How could he have known that? Maybe he guessed again and got it right. The Quran talks about the development of the fetus in the womb of the mother. Some things that were not known until ultrasound technology came forward. How would he know that? Right? If you put all of that together, don't you think that it does show that there was a divine origin for the Quran?
Yeah, makes sense.
You're almost Muslim, you're there.
It's kind of interesting, like,